of your government. They may be living next door, or even teaching your children. But they are not who they appear to be. Are alien visitors living among us?
I killed 2 of them. Yes, they're mortal and they do die.
From an alien race reported under the streets of Los Angeles, to the discovery of a secret lab where humans aren't only conducting the experiments, humans are the experiments.
Human body parts being used, recombined with alien body parts, and it is literally a chamber of horrors.
Tonight, we reveal the incredible secrets of extraterrestrial beings living among us, including a never-before-seen interview with a woman who claims the ability to channel an alien race.
Greetings. We are the Arcturians.
Join us as the secret of aliens among us is unsealed. A global effort has begun. Secret files hidden from the public for decades, detailing every UFO account, are now available to the public. We are about to uncover the truth behind these classified documents. Find out what the government doesn't want you to know. Unsealed Alien Files. Exposing the biggest secret on planet Earth. Cusco, Peru. This jungle city was once capital of the Incan Empire. But it was in the late 1990s that archaeologists digging in these ruins came across an incredible discovery. Skulls, unlike any creature known to man. Their size and shape were almost a perfect match to eyewitness descriptions of alien beings.
The elongated skulls that we found are not only larger in terms of cranial capacity than modern humans, but the eye sockets are much bigger, the jaw is much larger, and also the actual bone material is sometimes 60% heavier than a modern human being.
But could this actually be evidence of alien beings that lived and died on planet Earth?
Now, on the one hand, there's a perfectly conventional explanation for this, that the babies, they were strapped to a backboard in such a way that it actually deformed the skull, so the skull became elongated, and that's what we see. But UFO historians say something different.
In 2011, the remains were taken to a museum where local news reported the head is triangular and tremendous, almost the size of the body, and that Spanish and Russian doctors have confirmed that indeed it is an extraterrestrial.
Now, these alien skulls have been turning up everywhere, not just Peru, Mexico, Egypt, other countries in the developing world, and it seems the more we dig, the more we find.
The explanation may be found within a book published in 1882, Atlantis, the Antediluvian World, by American politician Ignatius Donnelly.
Now, in this book, it talked about these godlike beings that inhabited this land and perhaps were the original settlement on this planet. The question is, could these gods actually be aliens?
The book explains that before the island sank, its leaders left for Egypt, Mexico, and Peru to become rulers of these countries, and reveals another intriguing detail: illustrations of their unique skulls. Perhaps the most well-known of these ancient leaders was Egyptian ruler King Akhenaten. He was the husband of Nefertiti and father of Tutankhamun. But could he also have been an alien king?
When we look at the skull of the Egyptian pharaoh Akhenaten, we see how it's deformed, how it's elongated. So it's not just larger, there's almost this tubular shape in that. What could that have meant? Was Akhenaten an alien?
These characteristics may have been the product of genetic deformity. But some theorists propose rulers such as Akhenaten were connected to an alien race a theory many believe applies to the world leaders of today.
There have been reports of aliens interacting with world leaders for centuries, but none so interesting as with one of our own presidents.
Coming up next, find out what the president might know about aliens among us. And later, answers from an unlikely source, speaking directly to alien intelligence. This is Unsealed Alien Files, exposing the biggest secret on planet Earth. Welcome back to Unsealed Alien Files. Are human beings alone on planet Earth? Or is it possible aliens are living among us?
If anyone on this planet knew of extraterrestrials interacting with us, it would have to be our world leaders. And they're not telling us.
Some believe mankind's greatest encounter may have ended in a pact bartering human lives with an extraterrestrial race. A pact allegedly executed by none other than the President of the United States. Unsealed case file, the Presidential Alien Pact. Palm Springs, California. In 1954, U.S. President Dwight D. Eisenhower lands for a winter holiday. During the trip, he mysteriously disappears on the night of February 20th, igniting a firestorm of media speculation. But witnesses who came forward in later decades claim that during this time, Eisenhower visited Edwards Air Force Base, where he met with an alien race.
Purported witnesses to this event claimed that Eisenhower was actually asked there by the extraterrestrials in order to make some sort of deal.
The aliens, said to be at this meeting, were a race known to ufologists as the Pleiadians, frequently described as taller and larger than regular humans. They are known for their shockingly blonde hair and clear eyes, earning them the nickname Nordics.
And this meeting was very much tied in with an effort by these extraterrestrials to persuade the US government not to go ahead with the development of thermonuclear weapons.
But just 10 days after the alleged meeting took place, the US's Bravo hydrogen bomb was detonated in Bikini Atoll. It appeared no treaty to end atomic weapons was reached.
So another path was chosen, meeting with other groups of extraterrestrials who were not as opposed to the United States developing nuclear weapons.
The second meeting between Eisenhower and extraterrestrials took place at the Holloman Air Force Base in New Mexico, where he met with the Greys, and this time, a treaty would be reached.
Their alleged deal, they would provide advanced technology far beyond human capabilities. But in exchange, the Greys would be given the freedom to abduct humans for DNA and experimentation. But most frightening is the supposed location of these experiments, an alleged underground military laboratory known as the Dulce Base.
For over 30 years, top secret projects have been said to take place under the Archuleta Mesa. This area is where humans and extraterrestrials actually work together on a variety of projects, anything from technology to bioengineering.
The existence of the Dulce Base has been confirmed for decades by documents such as the Blue Planet Project and whistleblowers such as former government geologist Phil Schneider.
I was involved in building a base inside of Dulce, New Mexico, which is Los Alamos Laboratory. On the southwest part of the Archuleta Mesa, we built an underground facility, a better part of 3 cubic miles hollowed out underground.
Reports state that the base is 7 levels deep. But the deepest levels are allegedly only used by alien researchers for their experiments on human beings.
And it is literally a chamber of horrors. Human body parts are floating in this blue liquid vats. Human beings are being literally cloned. Human body parts being used, recombined with alien body parts. No human beings allowed.
The tales are so horrifying that the area has become known as Nightmare Hall. But while this location may be one of the most frightening places aliens could live on planet Earth, evidence shows we may find a greater alien threat slithering beneath our feet, one that has taken the form of human beings. Coming up next, a war at the Dulce base claims human lives. Evil alien conspirators masquerade as our leaders, and we reveal an exclusive interview with what could be actual alien intelligence. This is Unsealed Alien Files, exposing the biggest secret on planet Earth. Welcome back to Unsealed Alien Files. Humans were once thought to be the only intelligent life form on planet Earth. But some experts believe that aliens exist among us and may be working alongside the U.S. government in an underground alien facility known as the Dulce base.
In this Dulce base, human beings and extraterrestrials are working together to hybridize a new species, part ET, part human. They're working with the U.S. military that's guarding it. They're working with U.S. scientists.
It seemed that the U.S. and extraterrestrials were working together in peace until the Blue Planet Project revealed a 1978 incident known as the Dulce War. It detailed a confrontation that ensued when human soldiers attempted to infiltrate an alien-only research level. Witnesses, including respected government scientist Philip Schneider, have come forward, claiming injuries suffered at the hands of these alien races.
I didn't waste any time. I reached for my pistol and started shooting. And I killed 2 of them. Yes, they're mortal and they do die. And the next thing I know, this blue beam hit me and just literally opened me up like a fish. And burnt my fingers right off of me. And it was some form of electrical force because the kind of like being hit by a lightning bolt burned all my toenails off of me. And there was a Green Beret that was right behind me that risked his life. In fact, he died. Shoved me back in the basket and hit the button and took me up. And I wouldn't be alive talking to you today if it wasn't for him. I'm forever indebted.
Why are these alien beings here? And what do they want from the human race? The answer may be found in one of the oldest reported alien species on planet Earth, the reptilians.
It seems like through all the stories of abduction, the reptilians are probably the last ones you want to come across. The reptilians are usually described as being just that, like a reptile. Usually a lizard-shaped head, very much like a reptile skin. They're not peaceful. They are more very much filled with experimentation, violence, pain.
According to lore, reptilians do not live in the heavens. They do not have ships. They are said to live underneath the ground we walk on, or next to us, in the form of someone we trust and believe to be human. But they are far from legend. Unsealed case file. The Lizard People. 1933. Los Angeles. Population 1.3 million. Is a quickly growing American city. Engineer G. Warren Schufelt is surveying downtown Los Angeles for gold deposits when he reportedly makes an incredible discovery. A strange labyrinth of tunnels in the shape of a lizard and its inhabitants, the Lizard People.
In 1934, this geologist, this mining engineer, Warren G. Schufelt, discovered there was a hidden city under downtown Los Angeles. Catacombs and caves and tunnels and roads. And he believed that reptilian creatures had lived there.
After drilling more than 250 feet into the city, officials order the shafts sealed. It is unknown what, if anything, has been found. But the story of subterranean reptilians lives on.
Even going back to biblical times, the serpent or the reptile is really seen as this evil type creature.
These ancient cultures not only describe the reptilian's sinister appearance and nature, but special powers, unlike any other alien race.
One thing that people talk about the reptilians and their capabilities is that they can shapeshift. So not only do they look like reptilians in their true form, but they can actually shapeshift into something that looks like you and I.
If real, who knows what positions of power and influence they've occupied in the past, and what they could occupy now.
Some people go so far as to say that members of the royal family, political leaders, the global elite are these reptilians, and that occasionally these aliens in human form let down their guard, showing some sort of reptilian behavior or appearance.
If true, these beings could lead us to extinction, all from behind an impenetrable human disguise. Is there any hope left for humanity?
The most common portrayals of aliens is that they are here to harm us, here to take us over. However, there are aliens who in fact are said to be our ancestors, and that they are here in order to help us and to guide us.
Unsealed case file, the Arcturian message. The Arcturians are considered by many to be the most advanced civilization in the galaxy. They have been known to channel their message through humans, who act as mediums.
My name is Suzanne Lee. I am a PhD psychotherapist, and I have been in communication with the Arcturians since about 1994.
Sue Lee claims the ability to bring a message from the Arcturian race through her own body. It is a message about the future of humans and aliens on planet Earth that she will channel before our very eyes.
What I'm about to do right now is to allow the Arcturians to come through.
When we return, this is Unsealed Alien Files, exposing the biggest secret on planet Earth. Welcome back to Unsealed Alien Files. The time to act is now. There are 3 simple steps you can take to unseal the truth.
Follow on Twitter.
Follow the Unsealed Twitter feed to receive breaking news of the latest alien happenings as they develop.
Tell your story.
Have you seen a UFO?
Whatever we encountered affected our memory.
Upload stories and pictures to our interactive map.
Join the movement.
Get the Unsealed bracelet and the unique code hidden underneath to access exclusive content. Stop living in the dark.
It is definitely coming this way.
Get involved in the fight to unseal the truth. Now. Of all the aliens who could be among us on planet Earth, only a race known as the Arcturians are said to share their message through mediums such as Suzanne Lee. What you are about to witness is a never-before-heard message that could be from an alien race.
Greetings. We are the Arcturians. Our ultimate hope is that humans realize that they are us in a human form. We are your ancestors. We are you. And we have come to wake you up from your dream.
If true, aliens may be ancestors of the human race. But whether it is the Greys, the Nordics, the Reptilians, or the Arcturians, one possibility seems hard to deny. Mankind may not be alone on planet Earth. This is Unsealed Alien Files, exposing the biggest secret on planet Earth.
We're here with Leonard. We're in T-Snow's Post. What's the date today, Dave?
I think it's 18th.
18th? 18th of November. And you were going to give us a little history on the Skinwalker. Your take on things out here as far as what's going on, what has been going on. I mean, it's really obvious, even the time we've spent out here recently, that we've got some activity out there that we can't explain, and some activity that we can't attribute to Sasquatch. I mean, there are things going on beneath the eye here at night. Give us a little history.
Yes, there is really a lot of things going on at night, and we hear the dogs barking, and we usually don't go running out and look to see what the thing is that they're barking at. But back in the old days when I was growing up, I was about 6-7 years old, I was staying with my grandparents. They would tell a lot of stories about things in the night, quote. Anyway, they told me that there's some things out there that can be seen or not seen. So they could either be in an animal form, or maybe a human form, or half human or half animal, that sort of stuff, And also they told me about how when the Spanish conquistadors came up this way, or the cavalry, they used to spy on their camps. The only way they could do that was to change into an animal, so they can sneak into their camp and listen to their plans for the next day, see which way that they would be marching, or if they see in a Navajo village or hiding place, they would go in there and capture these young men and young girls and take them to Mexico to work in the silver mines or gold mines that they had.
So basically, you're telling me at one particular time and juncture that there was an actual working relationship with Skinwalker then. I mean, he was working for the people, for their benefit at one time.
Yes, yes. And then through the years, when everything was normal, after the long walk, why?
And the long walk being, that was the march to Fort Sumner?
Yes, yes.
And that was 1871?
1868.
1868.
So, and that's when they came back and they settled back in here. And these things are the people that knew how to do these things. I don't know. They tell me that all you need to do is learn one song, and you can change into any animal, whether it's as small as a fox, or as big as an elk or a horse. You could use any one of the skins that you can get into to spy on your neighbor or whoever,
So outside of the Western view of the Skinwalker, as far as what's been revealed, typically they take the hide of an animal and they emulate this animal. But also I've heard that they have to eat the parts of a dead person and or sacrifice someone very close to them. Is there a darker art to Skinwalker and perhaps a lighter art?
What I've heard was if you want to practice, to do skinwalking, you would have to sacrifice a loved one, somebody that you really cherish. Could be your parents, your grandparents, or your family, or your kids. You have to sacrifice that person in order for it to work on, to practice this thing.
So, I mean, that would be a very dark thing for you to sacrifice a loved one.
Oh, yes, yeah. They do it, though. They do it.
Obviously.
So, if you bought a brand new truck and it's sitting in your yard, they get jealous. Your neighbor could get jealous of you and saying, hey, I want that truck too. I want one like that too. So, they hire one of these people to put a hex on you. So, say within 6 months, you get behind on your payment, or you either lose the truck, or you get into a wreck, or somebody hits it, And then this person that wanted that same type of truck in their yard, they gain what you lose. That's what the older people told me. That's how they work. Or if you have a beautiful wife, and somebody is jealous of it because, hey, I want something like that. I want to be like this person, have a beautiful wife, and people will look up to me and put me above in their community, so that I can be proud of what I have. So that's how they work these things. I don't know how they do it, but that's what happens.
Well, so we're talking black magic. I mean, that's what keeps popping up in my head. Not that in my beliefs there's any real white magic either. I mean, it's a real cut and dried thing with me and my beliefs. But this really does just jealousy and petty things like that.
Yeah, it's a lot of times it's jealousy. It's just pure jealousy.
And more I hear out here too is a medicine man isn't really practicing good medicine anymore. Back when they used to heal with herbs and teas and different smokes and things like that, I think even more and more somebody puts a hex on you and you have to pay them to remove the hex. It's extortion.
I think from my experience, if I got real sick and I go to a medicine man and they remove whatever was put on to me, the medicine man will tell me, they will not, name the person that did it, but they'll say, it's somebody that you know, or somebody in your community did this to you. Because, they'll get in trouble too, because I'll probably go to that person and say, so-and-so said this to you, about you, so you're the one I'm going to come get you. But
so the medicine man has got some ethics like a lawyer, and he doesn't reveal his source.
Right.
Or a good reporter for that matter.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds pretty, I don't like it. I know you don't like it either, but we're trying to get to the bottom, and not so much the bottom, the root of what is making these strange things we're seeing out here. And if we can tie in the dogman, which is, I've got several reports on these dogmen, if they tie in with a skinwalker, or are these dogmen a separate cryptid species yet undiscovered? That's something we need to address. And it's going to take looking at all these different things and put it all together and try to come up with a common denominator involved in this whole genre.
Yeah, like I said, they're everywhere. Even nowadays, even the 7-year-old can become a skinwalker.
How does that happen? How do they get indoctrinated into something like that?
That's what I don't really know. And I've just heard stories that you can go into a meeting. They have a meeting probably every week or every month, like your PTA meetings, stuff like that. Then that's where they initiate you into their society to start doing bad things to your people or your neighbors.
Are these like sings, or are they like TP meetings, or are they like peyote meetings? What type of?
Mostly it's isolated meetings, and it could be in a cave or in a some place where it's way out in the middle of nowhere, where they won't be surprised by the police or some other people.
So this really is a secret society.
Yes,
that would be involved in this.
Mm-hmm.
Leonard, would they have to do a ceremony? Is this part of like a ritual that they do repeatedly to turn into this skinwalker entity?
Yes, when they have a meeting, this I got from different people that I talk to. They tell me that when you go inside a meeting, they lay out different skins and you have to stand behind each one, and while they're singing, that skin will start creeping up on you and dressing you up of whatever skin you were standing behind. Could be, like I said, a fox, or maybe an elk, or just whatever. And then the headman will say, okay, try that out. Take a run out there a mile, and then come back and turn in and see if that's the one you want to be.
And if they transform, are they aware of this? Or is there something that takes them over?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that, because it probably does, because of the way they act. They try to imitate whatever height is on them. Like if they're an elk. I've seen an elk out here, and there's no elk down in this area, just up on the mountains. That night I saw one out here, and I looked at it, and I just brushed it off, and I thought, oh, okay, they're around here, probably traveling from that mountain to this one. So
I also understand that there's always something kinky about the animal they're trying to emulate. There's always something just isn't quite right.
Right, that's true.
I've heard that
very
time
true.
and
like
time
I said
again.
about this elk, it looked at me and it turned around, and the back end of it, like it just drug around, like a, how you say, it didn't turn like an animal would, on force.
Almost artificially?
Yeah, then this one would just drag its hind quarter back around like that.
That's amazing.
So that's how they do it. Even a horse,
And years ago with Shut and Amina and Laura and Red and myself, we saw what we thought was a bear running across Rattlesnake in August, 104 degrees. And this particular bear had an extra long neck, smaller ears, and a tail. And it was pushing 600-700 pounds. And it loped like a bear, but it makes me wonder what it is we really saw. And another thing I've heard also, we had 5 witnesses that day, and I've heard that 3 or more people won't see the same thing. It can only fool so many, or put off the montage of what it is to so many people. And
yes,
5 people saw.
That's true. Yes, because I could say, look at that coyote standing out there. Then everybody would look over there, but they probably won't see it.
Probably 2 or 3 people out of 5 would see a coyote, and
yes.
a couple other people would see something different.
It'll move, but it'll disappear between like a tree or a post, something like that. It'll go behind it. The only thing that will see it is probably a cat and a dog.
And will a cat and a dog see them for what they really are? Possibly.
Possibly, yes, because they'll be barking at it, or the cat will be hissing at it and stuff like that. A lot of times, you can't really see it because they're hiding. They hide behind. I don't know how you would say it. They transform. They disappear and stuff like that.
So in a traditional sense, we're going back again. The skinwalker used to work with the Dene, the people.
Mm-hmm.
They could count on him to go down way back when. This is probably, the cavalry days, the days of the conquistadors. This area that would have been here around, say, 1776.
Mm-hmm.
They used to work with the people. And yes. What do you think made them branch off from working with the people, and it became a dark art in a secret society? Basically, is what's happened here.
Well, I think it's more like clan or groups of people. They moved around, say, oh, go see what they're going to plan on doing, and maybe they found some better land where they settled down, stuff like that. How did they get all that sheep, or how did they acquire all these other things? Mostly, a value or whatever. So they want to have that too. So
jealousy,
mostly
petty
jealousy.
things.
Yes,
petty things.
Leonard, you mentioned your dogs can. Dogs in general can see these things where we can't. Mm-hmm. When the Biscardi research team was here a few nights ago, do you think those dogs saw something real bad when they ran back into the tent?
Yes, like those that one dog in particular with the red eyes and
yeah, And that was something.
I think that was one of them. So
that was something the crew had never experienced before. Is glowing red eyes in a dog.
So Leonard, would the Skinwalker realm be considered somewhat of a form of witchcraft in general?
Yes, yeah, mostly witchcraft, jealousy, of everything around them, or not only them, they're usually hired by other people to do a hex on so-and-so, you know, because of their belongings or what they have, maybe jewelry or whatever they have of value.
Let me ask you this, what would be the benefit of animal form to do these indignities to people as far as curses and bad things? Is it for the stealth effect, so they can sneak up, sneak in, and get their mission done?
Mostly like for stealth. But if you come face to face with one, they'd probably throw something on you where it would paralyze you momentarily, or a lot of times, you know, it would be fatal. But most of the times when they investigate it, it's like an accident. Like, you know, a car accident.
Or a coronary, unexplained, a mysterious death.
Yes, unexplained death or something like that.
And that goes back to the couple by shipwreck under the really mysterious circumstances.
Yes, a lot of times, you know, it's like that. Because, like I said, I don't know how they do it, but they throw something on you, or I don't know what it is.
So, another thing too, you were making mention, whereas a person might not be entirely shape-shifted, they might have the animal legs in place at the particular time, and they're out in the daylight. And you mentioned where you've seen them shuffling along, trying to keep the shoes on their feet so they don't fall out of their shoes, where they've probably got animal legs inside of these shoes.
Yes. I've noticed when I'm in like a swap meet or places like that, or in a mall, where I notice people doing weird things. Well, not the whole, maybe one individual out of the whole crowd of people, that they kind of act strange, like they're trying to, but you could see that their eyes are glassy and they kind of stare at you, or you could feel it that somebody's watching you. But so those, you have to kind of be careful when you're in a crowd. That's why a lot of times a lot of these older people, like the seniors now, they don't really go among the crowd because of that. They fear something out there.
What happens other than death if a skinwalker blows this powder on you?
That part I don't know, but I've heard people say that, you know, it'll like, say you're eating a popcorn and you get this powder thrown on you, and you're eating the popcorn, then you start choking, and then you just fall over, and that's it, you know. Then they rule you that person died of choking.
Now, Leonard, is there any kind of ceremonies that would be used to ward off some of these hexes?
If you think that that powder was put on you, or there's a little what they call bitter medicine that you take as soon as you feel that numbing sensation. If you're in a crowd, you put that in your mouth. So they call it bitter medicine. So I don't know what's in it.
I was talking with some Kiowas, and they carry a medicine bag with them.
Mm-hmm.
And they use it to ward these things off. And they also use it, one of the witnesses I talked to, in the presence of Sasquatch. I mean, he was 7 years old, and he saw this thing cross the road, stand there, look at the car for a few minutes, and his relatives in the car started digging out medicine bags and throwing powder all over the place, you know, in the presence of Sasquatch even.
Yeah. Even in a house, I've noticed several times that I could smell something rotten, you know. I'd look around and try to sniff it out, and thought, maybe something's spoiled over there. I wonder what it is. Maybe an old sandwich or something was put back there. So I look over there and investigate. There's nothing.
Would you ever feel noxious when you'd smell this? Did you feel any?
Yes, yes, I could. It's strong. So I would walk over there, and one time I was sitting here with my cat, and she kept looking at that lamp there with the wolves on it. She kept, staring at it, and she would get scared and run off. And when I walked by it, I could smell that something spoiled there. So what I did was I talked to her. I said, "Hey, get out of here. I don't bother you, so don't bother me." So what I did was I burned the cedar. They're really afraid of cedar for some reason when you burn it, and then kind of bless yourself with it. Then it'll go away.
Go ahead.
Or if you feel uneasy in your house, you always burn cedar.
Do you also use sagebrush? Is that?
Yes, that's the same thing. That gets them out of your house or away from you.
Probably, sage has, some natural healing qualities outside of anything metaphysical or spiritual. I think. I think sage has some natural healing qualities, and the smell of burning cedar is very pleasant. In fact, I really like that flavor on my steaks. To tell you the truth, that's probably my favorite steak flavor. Yeah. But I mean, as far as one particular animal that is emulated that stands out again and again, in my experience, is this dogman type creature. And I've had reports that weren't unpleasant at all. So the other night when we were here all staked out with the team, I heard my daughters who'd come to visit us and her cousin, and they were screaming, and I thought it was just some girls cutting up, or my daughter cutting up, fooling around with her cousin, being silly girls, and come to find out that wasn't the case. Why don't you tell us what happened, Leonard?
Well, the girls came running in here. They were all scared, and Shelby said, "There was somebody over there in the bushes, calling Laura by her name." It said, "Laura, come here, Laura."
And she hasn't lived out here in a year and a half.
I don't think nobody knows her by name like that, So what they did was they ran back to Shelby's house, and they came straight across this way on the other trail, and they came in and told us about it, and it was weird how this thing was calling Laura by her name.
Did they describe a body shape or a body image?
They said it was in the bushes out there, those willows, those little miniature willows, and you could hardly see into that area real good. So, but the dogs, they were quiet too. I don't know why they didn't bark. Maybe it was.
Was this at night? Was this in the darkness?
It was darker than the spot. It was dark.
Probably about 8:30, going 9 o'clock, yeah.
Somewhere around there, yeah. So that's what happened that night, and right away I knew what it was, Strange things like that. The only thing you could think of is skinwalkers or something out of the ordinary, that's out there floating around. So what I did was me, Laura, and Shelby, we drove Shelby back to her house, and we came on back in the car. And I tried to look over there, and I couldn't see anything, because it was in the brushes, and I couldn't see in there. So that's incidents like that happen all the time around here,
Oh, this I know. I lived out here for some time, so yes. I'm very aware of that. And it's understanding, and basically, I think what I'm trying to pick out of all of this is outside of all the evil entities and the black magic and the witches, and those that are just doing bad things that are up to no good, that don't benefit anybody, and doesn't benefit the Dene, the Navajo, the people. outside of all that, is a cryptid animal that is repeated again and again, that doesn't necessarily cause any trouble, that doesn't necessarily hurt people, that's just been cited. And another thing too, Leonard, and you'll agree with it, because I mean, you and I, the years we've been working together, are very familiar with Sasquatch and his appearance and what he looks like. You know, it's not as if we're going to wrap anything up here. This is just a slight dusting. I mean, really, to get to the core of this. You know, and somewhere in the core of this, Dave and Leonard, I want to find a cryptid animal that exists outside of this black magic, that exists outside of all this evil doing. I want to find a cryptid animal that isn't exactly a human manifestation turned evil or something of that nature. I'm going to find a cryptid animal out of all this, I hope. And that's my hope. And what are your feelings on that, Leonard? I mean, could there be a cryptid animal that isn't necessarily involved in this evil and this petty jealousy? I mean, the 7 deadly sins are going on with what's going on with this whole skinwalker genre. I mean, do you think there's a cryptid animal we can pull out of this whole thing? Something undiscovered? Is there one recurring animal that keeps coming up that might not necessarily be involved in this evil?
I don't think so, because like I said, everything nowadays is jealousy, and it'll be hard to define one that's, you know, natural or doing its own thing, but 99% of the time it'll be evil stuff.
What do you think Snake Girl is? Do you think Snake Girl is an actual living, breathing creature outside of the skinwalker genre? That's something that lives in the water holes and lives in the rivers and takes fish and takes prey at water holes? What do you think Snake Girl is? Or the snake type bipedal things that these are? What do you think they are?
Snake Girl could be something like Bigfoot, I think, you know, because it has to live near a water so it can hide, or in a pond, something like that, where Bigfoot, they roam everywhere.
So Leonard, could this still be considered in the skinwalker realm, where there's a shape-shifting element to all this?
Or is it an actual lizard person? Is there an actual lizard person that lives?
It's hard to say with the investigations that's going on nowadays. The answer's out there somewhere right now, because I don't know either. So we need to do our own investigating and see if we can answer a lot of these questions by actually going out among them and see what we can find or run into.
Now, do these entities or creatures, do they leave like evidence of footprints, or have you ever seen any of this stuff?
As far as
Snake Girl, they don't leave footprints or anything. It's just like the Bigfoot thing, you know, they don't leave tracks or anything.
Well, I mean, we do find occasional tracks from Sasquatch.
Yes, occasionally, yes, you could. It would be their mistake if they leave something, you know, behind.
And I'm sure they've been followed to their camps by leaving tracks. I mean, they're very careful about it. And I found like 2 really good tracks and then nothing, or a track line that just stops. You know, at one point, it's probably, oh no, I'm leaving tracks. I'm going to fix this. You know, and you've told me they carry a stick with them. They'll brush your tracks out behind them.
If that happens, then you know it's a person thing. If you track maybe lizard girl or a big coyote that's got big feet, then it disappears and then there's nothing, then that's a transformation right there.
Or I've heard stories of the large type wolf prints all of a sudden turn into human prints.
Yes.
Also, I mean, there's a lot we don't understand, but scientifically, on my part, I'm looking for a flesh and blood living creature outside of the black magic and the evil. And that's going to be a job for us, especially out here in this dark territory. That's going to be a job to pick these things out and find what's actually real and what's manifested from evil. And that's going to be our challenge. And my hope, in the end, is we will find a couple of cryptid creatures here that aren't involved in this, as far as evil goes.
That's a possible, because of all the uranium mines that used to be here. I don't know, there might be some animals that got in there and they got transformed. And somehow, they come out differently. So.
Speaking of uranium mines, I've noticed there's a lot of uranium activity from the past here in the Carrizos and in look at you guys.
Yes, a lot of them. There's still some shafts that are still open, and these animals go down in there. And if you or I could go down in there, and we see some of these like rails that they used to push these uranium ore out of there. Those irons are still in there, and they're glowing at night.
That's disgusting.
Amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even the ponds that are down there, they're glowing.
The water glows at night.
They glow at night.
And
it's dark in there, and you could see it. And these animals probably go in there and they drink out of it. And
these
every day they go in there, and then they're starting to change.
And these workers used to work in all this environment for 4 or 5 days a week, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember Uncle Jack telling me back before the road out here got paved, the trucks would be coming by and they'd be hitching right into shiprock, and they'd jump right up on top the big old truck and get on top of the ore, because back in the 40s the government told them it was safe. Uncle Jack's telling me, I was a little kid, and I hooked right in on an ore truck heading into shiprock, and that's horrible. So, as far as Sasquatch, what is Sasquatch doing in these old uranium mines? Is he taking shelter there?
Shelter, or they're just moving in there as if they're going to set up housekeeping, and they're being exposed to this uranium.
What kind of effect do you think that has on Sasquatch?
I don't know, same as humans maybe, because they're almost as big as us. And it's hard to say, how uranium affects them. So.
Did any of these workers ever report? Did you ever hear of any reports of a Bigfoot being seen while they would work in these mines?
I probably did, but at the time I was small. During the times they were mining all these mountains here.
And Leonard, you're 69?
Yes.
Okay. So Leonard's been out here a while. I mean, he knows this area very well.
Oh, yes.
We've enjoyed his expertise in tracking, and as I've said, he could track a cricket through a hurricane.
Oh, I believe it.
So, I mean, it's not that we're going to wrap this up here, and we have not yet begun to explore all the avenues and the possibilities that we're facing out here, but I mean, this would just be to get some generalizations out and some general ideas out. I mean, that's all we can do in this amount of time, and we'll take it up later.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Leonard. God bless you. And,
thank you, Leonard.
Thank you for being a part of our team and being so open and honest, and thank you for being such an excellent tracker, and thank you for your wisdom, too. I mean, you've put us in good situations where we haven't gotten into trouble, and I sure appreciate that.
Sure, yeah.
God bless you.
I'm just as much interested in finding what these things really are.
It's all about the truth.
The answers is out there waiting for us. We need to find it.
That's what we're doing.
Keep at it. Fake humans, huh?
Yeah. What's up? It's Chuck D. And in the game, there's winners and losers. If you think that you're better with drugs, then you're on the loser's side. And that's for real. I ain't never seen a winner in the drug game. So we want to make sure that the next generation ain't generation wrecked. Don't be a loser. Drug addiction, nobody wins. So you make sure that you give drugs no love. Peace.
I change the people around me. I change the people around me.